Good day everyone, I'm Mardi Chavia from base HM3. I'll be telling about Chapter 8, the laws regulating accommodation establishment. In Chapter 8, we have hotel nowadays stimulate the ambience of home away from home. Thus, it should be clean, comfortable, functional, and safe. By Farid Courier, former General Manager of Hyatt Regency Manila. And we have a case here, a case of the television missing set. But we have to read first the learning objectives about identify the laws of affecting accommodation sector, identify the rights of the guest, explain how quality and safety standards are maintained by hotels and similar establishments by meeting minimum requirements of the law. So let's proceed to the case of television set. In the television set, in the one particular deluxe hotel in Metro Manila, the management takes pride in excellent service given by its staff to all hotel guests. Approximately 10% of the house guests are Filipino or balikbayans. One day, a Filipino balikbayan checked in with 2 pieces of luggage, a used suitcase, a big balikbayan box. The guest was staying in only overnight. The bellman brought the luggage in the designated guest room. The following day, the guest checked out with the same number of luggage. The bellman called out for a taxi to take the guest to his next destination. The housekeeping attendant entered the vacant guest room to clean. The housekeeping attendant was surprised to note that television unit in the living room was no longer in the armoire or TV cabinet. Housekeeping attendant also found the plenty of huge rocks in the bathtub. This was reported right away to the security. It was investigated also by the investigation report indicated that the housekeeping staff, front desk clerk, and bellman were all responsible in allowing the guests to check out without clearing the guest room. To ensure that nothing is missing, the book value of missing television set was charged to the negligence of employees. Do you agree with this verdict? How can hotels prevent this incident? So let's proceed. The point of view is in nature of description of a business hotel resort. The description of hotel and resort business is to cater the guest with excellent services and accommodation. Next, rules of operation and management resorts, motorist or motel. There are rules of hotels and motels and management of resorts. Next, accreditation of accommodation establishment by the Department of Tourism. The Philippine Memorandum Term Development Plan 2001 to 2004 identifies that the tourism sector as one of the banner industries that will promote the economy. The result of the study on the effects of the competitiveness of the Philippine tourism to catch up with its neighboring countries. Tourism competitiveness, a nation to deliver goods and services platform better than other destinations on those aspects of tourism experience considered by an important by tourists. We have the validity of certificate of accreditation, grounds of cancellation and accreditation, responsibilities of accommodation establishment, building code of the Philippines. Business entities engage the operation of tourist accommodation establishments may organize as a single proprietorship or partnership or a corporation. We have the hotel, resort, apartment, pension house, motorist, or motel. Hotels are hereby classified by the following categories, namely deluxe class, first class, standard class, and economy class. The classification of hotel based on a number of criteria such as location, bedroom, front office reception service, housekeeping standards, food and beverage service, recreational facilities, engineering and maintenance, service staff, general facilities, special facilities. And by the way, we have here in the resort may be categorized as a beach resort located along a shore, in an island, or resort within the town. We classified the resorts as follows: Class AAA, Class AA, and Class A. And we have lastly the special interest resort. Rules on the operation and management of resorts. Sanitation measures shall be adopted in accordance with the standards prescribed under the PD 856 Code of Sanitation of the Philippines. All resorts shall provide services of a sufficient number of well-trained lifeguards duly accredited by their Philippine National Red Cross, the Water Life Saving Association of the Philippines, or any recognized organization training or promoting safety objectives and adequate security whenever there are guests. First, motel or hotel. Aside from the complying with the minimum requirements of the establishment operation, maintenance of the hotel or motel, all are motels required to keep motel registry books stating the following particulars: full name, address, number, date and place issued residence certificate, Class A or driver's license or passport. The motel management required to maintain a separate logbook of the plate number of the vehicles or cars used for customers or guests coming into leaving the motels. On the departure of guests, the clerk shall record the registry book, the date, and the hour of their departure. Accreditation of the department by the Department of Tourism, although not mandatory in nature, increases the marketability of accommodation establishment of any person, partnership, corporation, or other entity desiring to secure accreditation for Department of Tourism shall accomplish in the duplicate and file with Department of the application prescribed such as purpose. Validity of certificate of accreditation. The certificate of accreditation shall valid for the period of 1 year from the date of issue unless sooner revoked by the department. Grounds of cancellation of accreditation. Any following acts, omissions of offenses shall constitute sufficient grounds for the cancellation of accreditation. We have making any false declaration of statement or making use of such declaration or statement or any document containing the same committing fraud or any act of misrepresentation for purpose of obtaining issuance and accreditation. Next, failure to comply with the contravene any of conditions set forth in the certificate of accreditation. Responsibility of accommodation establishment. We have the responsibility of the accommodation establishment must exercise the due diligence, not only the selection of its employees, but also serving needs of its customers. Failure to do so warrants and the inclusion that may management had been remiss of complying with the obligations imposed upon hotel keepers under the law. Under the Article 1170, the new Civil Code, those who in performance their obligations are guilty of negligence are liable for damages. Is the National Building Code. The National Building Code of the Philippines, or PD 1906, February 19, 1997, was adopted in a view of the country's accelerating economy of the physical development coupled with urbanization, and population growth. The National Building Code of the Philippines (NBP-CP) contains up-to-date and modern technical knowledge on building design, construction, use, occupancy, and maintenance. Have the building permits, general requirements of all buildings by use or occupancy, light and ventilation sanitation. First, we have the building permits. Building permits in Section 301 Building Permits. No person, firm, or corporation including any agency or instrumentally of the government shall erect, construct, alter, repair, move, convert, or demolish any building or structure or case of cause the same to be done without first obtaining the building permit, therefore from the building official assigned in the place where subject building is located on the building work is to be done. So, as you can see, whenever there is a construction or building or construction, there are always input the building permits in a way to notice the people that this building is permitted. General requirements of all buildings by use of or occupancy. In Section 704, Location and Property. No building shall be constructed unless adjoins or has direct access to a public space, yard, or street, or at least one in its sides. Fire resistance of walls. Exterior walls shall have fire resistance and opening protection. The light and ventilation. In the light and ventilation, the general requirements of light ventilation subject to the provisions of the Civil Code of the Philippines. In its easements of light and view and provision code, every building shall be designed, constructed, and equipped to provide adequate light and ventilation. All buildings shall face a street or public alley to our private street which has been duly approved. So light and ventilation is needed. The light may cause a good ambience and it has good exit way when there's an emergency. We have the sanitation. The sanitation of Section 901 General Requirements subject to the provisions of Book 2 of the Civil Code Philippines on property ownership and its modification. All buildings hereafter erected, altered, remodeled, vacated, or repaired for human habitation shall be provided with adequate potable water supply, plumbing installation, and suitable wastewater treatment or disposal system, storm water drainage, pest and vermin control, noise abandonment device, such as other measures required for protection or promotion of health of person occupying the premises of other living nearby. General design, construction requirements, registration of guests and occupants. So general construction requirements, we have the Section 1201 General Requirements. Building proposed for construction shall comply with all regulations and specifications herein set forth governing quality, characteristics, and properties of materials properties. Methods of design and construction type matters relative or to the structural design of all buildings and other structures. At the registration of guests and occupants. Civil Code of the Philippines gives provision for necessary deposits made by travelers in hotel or inns. This implies the need of registration of guests and or occupants in an accommodation establishment. Accordingly, keepers of hotels or inns shall be responsible for the deposits given by the travelers or guests provided notice was given in the respect to the effects brought by the guest that keepers of hotels and inns had taken the necessary precautions prescribed regarding their safekeeping. The liability of hotel keepers is extended not only in the effects of loss or damage. As we tackled about the story or the case, they are liable to the mass. The National Homestay Program is a program in which provides travelers with comfortable accommodations with Filipino families in the area near tourist attractions. For purposes of accreditation by Department of Tourism, the following are the minimum requirements of operation maintenance of homestay sites. There shall be separate container for each type of waste from all sources. Solid waste container, depending on use, shall be properly marked or identified on-site collection as compostable or non-recyclable or recyclable. Management. In waste management, under the Presidential Decree number 1152, also known as the Environmental Code of the Philippines, June 6, 1977, the dumping of this or disposal of solid waste into a sea and any body of water in the Philippines, including shorelines, riverbanks, where waste are likely to be washed into water, is prohibited and might be ground for non-renewal license to operate within a local government unit concerned. So, the waste management and security safety had been rehabilitated during the pandemic era. The term of President Rodrigo Duterte, it was devastated and end up the proving rehabilitation in the country, such as Panglao and other places in the Philippines. Security and Safety, DOT Memorandum Circular Number 200609 Series of 2006, August 23, 2006, constitutes the adaptation of safety and security measures in hotels, resorts, and other similar accommodation establishments. This is aligned with Department thrust of ensuring the safe, convenient, and enjoyable stay and travel both of local and foreign tourists as mandated by Executive Order 120. Accordingly, failure to comply with such memorandum circular shall be grounded. That's all. Thank you for watching.